latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models, or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway, or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness, and most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC, we are professional grade.
If you look good, you feel good. And the medical professionals here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week, and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance. Can you see my dark circles? Is my makeup highlighting my fine lines instead of covering them up? I question it all. So when I found out about the wide variety of procedures here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics, I knew help was just one appointment away. Medical Director Dr. Megan Deacon Casey and her board-certified physicians have been using the latest in cutting-edge technology for the last 10 years, giving men and women their personal confidence boost. From Botox, fillers, Morpheus 8, and so much more. The hardest part was figuring out what I needed. Thankfully, the medical team walked me through what would work best for me through a free consultation. Come look and feel your best with the team here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Visit them at one of their 2 locations, either over in Ponte Vedra or on the south side.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University.
Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Tony Mazzio, Sandwood High School, class of 2002.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School.
Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
In the club tonight, we have Action Sports Jack Sports Director Brent Martineau, a couple friends of the club, and of course by friends, I mean none other than Dewey Wingard, who now will make a historic 3rd straight post-game appearance on this very show. Devin Lloyd, Parker Washington, and of course you, fellow winners. The Jaguars triumphant over the Houston Texans for the first time in Jacksonville since 2017, as if there wasn't a reason to party. Welcome into a post-game edition of Club 904, syndicated on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 streaming channel. I am your host, Mia O'Brien. Thanks so much for hanging out with us live, whether it's on YouTube, X, Twitch, Facebook. So many different ways that you could catch us each and every Sunday at 9:04 p.m. Win or lose, but let's be real. It's always better after a win. Final score, Jaguars 17, Texans 10. A ton we can take away from this one, from the now 9 takeaways on the season. That matches the total from a season ago in just 3 games' time. Yes, we'll get to those drops as well. Don't worry. But first things first, let's just say the club is officially open, folks. And now it's time to bring in a friend, as we do each and every Sunday post game. It's time for Action Sports Jack sports director Brent Martineau to join us. Brent, obviously, it's a little bit happier of a post game than maybe a week ago. How's it going? Thanks so much for hopping in Club 904.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It could have been a disaster now. I mean, last week was not that fun in the post game with Brian Thomas Jr. and everything going on there, a game the Jags should have won. And today I wasn't really looking forward to it for a bit because, again, I said this and I think we all felt it. I think what gets lost in the win, and this is what happens in the NFL, right? All the things like drops and penalties and various things get lost in a win, not probably by coaches, but by fans and everything else because it's okay, is the fact that they were about to blow this game, it felt like, and it was a pivotal game. And there's not a person in Jacksonville that's watched this team for any length of time that thought they were going to win this game with about 8.5 minutes to go. And they did. So I think that speaks to resiliency, adversity, all this other stuff, or maybe it just happened. We'll find out in the long run. But I know for sure I started getting texts. All right, we're done. We're done, right? It's on. It's over. Like, you probably got the same thing. Twitter was a certain way. And quite frankly, I thought you could feel it. I thought you could feel it in the stadium because that was a lot that happened in like a minute's time on top of the other things that had already happened.
Brent, I got to first address all of our friends that are in the chat. Over 250 of you are in Club 904 right now. Of course, Dell, we got to give it up for Dell. Dell's always hanging out in the club. We're going to need to get Dell live on video at some point in time.
I got coffee too, Dell.
Woo! We love to see a cafecito, as Dell's friend Mario Cristobal would like to say. Phil hanging out in the club on Twitter. Friends of the pod, Brandon and Dory, are watching from the hot tub up in Fernandina Beach. We love to see it. Make sure you leave a comment, leave a question. A little bit of housekeeping first for those of you live streaming right now. Brent, I'm just going to get your one shot ready to go. Stand by, folks. And nope, we're going to add Brent. And there we go. Now we got Brent's one shot ready to go too. So the beauty of television, the beauty of live podcasting, folks. So much to dive into. But Brent, after that, those opening comments, I want to take our friends, our listeners behind the scenes. You came up to me pregame and you said, this is a game that is either going to determine that the Jaguars are playing meaningful games into December, or that we will be talking about next year in November. It certainly felt that way. It also is very weird to live in a world in which both the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans are 0-3 and the Colts are 3-0. We're going to get to that here in just a second. So let's start big picture. What does this win mean? To your point, obviously, there's tons of fans that got triggered, of course, by the idea of the Jaguars blowing another lead. But ultimately, Liam Cohen and this new regime, whether you want to call it luck, whether you want to call it situational football, whether you want to say CJ Stroud has regressed, this team found a way to win. But big picture, what does this win in particular mean?
Yeah, this one goes all the way back to May for me when the schedule came out. I thought it was going to be a swing game in the season, especially with San Fran and Kansas City Chiefs on the horizon, the Rams and Seattle too, how that early stretch of the season that we all talked about. I thought this would be a swing game, and you don't play another division game until November 9th. So that's why I thought this was really important. Then you add to the start of the season, even before they started playing a game and had a win against Carolina, just what would this game mean for Liam Cohen? He wants to be physical. Will he address the whole Al-Shaair stuff? Will they rally around Trevor Lawrence? Will they finally take the division over from Houston? They've been bullied, in Trevor's words, but also they've really just been owned by the Texans, especially here in Jacksonville. So I think it has all these different layers. Well, then you add on last week's loss to it after the win against Carolina, and you've got a gut punch loss. You also have Brian Thomas Jr. situation, which was going on there. There's a lot on this game, I thought, coming into it. And then 0-2 for Houston, who could go to 0-3. So, I mean, I just gave you 6, 7, 8 reasons why I thought this was a massive game. Now, did it mean if the Jags lost that they couldn't win another game all year? No. Does it mean because they win, they're automatically in the playoffs? No. I think it does, though. I think the Jags are going to be right there in the playoffs because of this kind of win. Now, it did happen a little bit different for me. I thought they were going to have to pound the rock, play physical that way, and then, have a chance maybe at the end of the game to kneel on it and then have some fun with the Al Shahir stuff or whatever, point to the scoreboard like Trevor did against Tennessee. I almost wonder if they've got a better kind of way to do it for their culture and for the long run, the way they won the game. They didn't win the game based on performance. They won the game based more on guts and being able to overcome adversity. And to me, that sparks culture change. Like, that's Tony Baselli, James Gladstone, Liam Cohen, all these different things. Listen, I might be over dramatizing it all. This might just be one football game on a Sunday in September. But I think somewhere in there, when you turn things around, the Bills did it, the Rams have done it, you can point to a bunch of different teams. There is a moment or two or maybe three that you go back on and you say, okay, well, it kind of started to change here. Is this going to be one of those moments in Jacksonville where in the final 10 minutes, things started to change?
Don't worry, Brent. The YouTube chat is popping off with, my goodness, Liam Cohen, the hero. We love Liam Cohen's post-game speech, says California Ryan. Duval T87 is singing his praises as well in the YouTube chat. So you are not alone in being on the Liam Cohen could be the vehicle to finally see change and sustainable change in Jacksonville. Tell me this, Brian Thomas Jr., you and I talked about it on the post-game pod last week. You've emphasized it on the Brandon Austin show. I said it on our daily Club 904s on Tuesday and Thursday this week. I truly view this as a mental block for a baseball hitter. This is someone who is going to have to swing his way out of it. Liam Cohen's comments in the post-game presser certainly reflected that. He thought that maybe if he catches or is able to tuck that deep ball downfield early in this first half, if he's able to catch one of those third down conversions, if not for an illegal shift that negated a catch by BTJ, maybe that's the catch that finally breaks him out of this funk. I'm not saying that this 46-yard grab, which, by the way, third fastest ball carrier in the NFL this season. He was going 22.13 miles per hour, according to Next Gen Stats. I don't want to say that that's the reason that he's going to snap out of this funk just like that, Brent, but it's going to have to be, you have to keep throwing to him. I saw so many people, and I'm sure you did too, in my comments on Twitter, say on X, whatever you want to call it these days, saying bench BTJ, the 3 drops are unacceptable. Parker Washington, who you guys will hear from a little bit later in the program, straight up told us, he's like, I had 2 drops. That's not acceptable. These guys know it isn't, but I don't think benching them is the solution and the cure to whatever yips or whatever you want to call it is going on in Jacksonville right now.
Yeah, well, by the way, we start with this with Brian Thomas Jr. Right now, the Jags have a little bit of a drop problem. That's 6 of them in a game, way too much. And on critical situations for Parker, for Brian, for Hunter Long on a 3rd and 2 right before the half. And a questionable one on Travis Etienne. We thought that ball might be live for a moment. So, yeah, that's a little bit of that's maybe a lot of bit of an issue that gets covered up with the win. But specifically to Brian, I will say this, even before he caught that last ball, I thought he looked so much better today in the way he was attacking things. I thought the first 2 weeks, specifically last week, he looked real uncomfortable. So I just thought going up to get that ball on the left sideline, I thought he looked better. He looked like a top receiver going to make a play and didn't come down with it. Like, you can almost live with those. The other drop on that 3rd down, not so good, because that was a backyard let's go play catch dad type of moment. I don't know how he dropped that. So it's really weird, but to come up in that situation, we'll see what this does for him, right? They're going to go to him because they kind of have to go to him, to your point. But I think it says a lot that Trevor Lawrence went to him. Trevor Lawrence, it might be in Brian's head a little bit right now. How could it not be? It's not in Trevor Lawrence's head, because Trevor Lawrence said, hey, no, we're not going to go run here. Instead, in the big moment of this game, I'm going to get this guy the football, and didn't think about the last 2 weeks. So I think that's the moment that could really turn this for Brian Thomas Jr., that his quarterback still believes in him, because you don't want that to change at all. And that was a huge play. Again, another one that we look back on and say, wow, that thing started to flip a little bit here. And we got to see his speed. I think from a football player standpoint, when you're fast, you want to be able to catch the ball and go. That's the first time we've seen him do it this year. So maybe that gives him some confidence, a little bit of mojo back, a little swagger back, just making the play the way he did, and of course the time he did it.
We'll stay with the wide receiver room, Brent. Again, if you have questions, comments for Brent or myself, if you are one of the 360 plus of you watching live right now, leave a comment, tweet at myself or at Brent. We'll be sure to answer it throughout the duration of this program, although Brent's only with us for another 5 minutes. So if you want to get your questions in for Brent, do so in the next 5 minutes. Travis Hunter, his usage has been a hotly debated topic. When I empty the notebook a little bit later in the show, Brent, we'll dive into the snap count on defense versus offense. All the national pundits are still upset because he hasn't made that splash play yet. Ultimately, I thought the coverage on Nico Collins was pretty darn good, considering the zone principles in this defensive scheme. Unfortunately, maybe led to the 1 third down conversion that he gave up. He obviously was playing off of Nico. If he presses him, maybe it's a different outcome. But ultimately, I didn't have any issues with him playing opposite Tyson Campbell on the outside, Jordan Lewis in the slot. And maybe there is a conversation that needs to be had of, if he is your best option opposite Tyson Campbell, maybe you do need to play him primarily on defense.
Well, they certainly seem like they're looking to go that way. Jarian Jones opened that door up because of the injury last week in Cincinnati. He ends up playing whatever he played, 40-something snaps on defense. And I think we're seeing more of it. I think we're going to get more of it. It gets him in the flow of the game better. It gets him involved in the game. And then at corner, how many plays can you really make that are going to impact the game? Tyson Campbell made a couple today, but we'll see if he can impact the game that way. I actually thought the one that he'd probably like to have back is the 4th and 2 with Christian Kirk. Looked like he had pretty tight coverage, but just maybe a half a step more, and he breaks that one up and the game's over. And for the second straight week, he basically makes a defensive play to seal the win. So, I mean, that's how close he is. Listen, the national folks can say what they want about him. I do think it has been a bit of a slow start. At least he's playing on both sides, getting acclimated. I think he looks a little frustrated. He doesn't look frustrated. I got to give him credit for actually looking kind of cool for the most part. I think he was frustrated with himself at one of the penalties or burned the timeout. I think it was a burn a timeout because he wasn't lined up in the right spot. So he's still trying to figure it out on offense. But a big play in this game was that 1st and 20 where he slips the tackle and takes it 21 yards. So, I mean, those are little plays that aren't going to end up on the national shows. That was a big play in the football game to erase another penalty, another hold. And I think Houston at the time had some momentum there, picks up 21 yards. The Jags can continue the drive. So I think it will evolve. I think the good news for Jags fans, forget about everybody outside, is Trevor has been picked off 4 times in 3 games. Brian Thomas Jr. has absolutely struggled. And Travis Hunter's been pretty quiet on the offensive end overall. And they're 2-1. I mean, that's a pretty good thing. But sooner or later, those guys have to get rolling too. And Trevor really has to stop with the interceptions. That was a bad one today.
Not to mention 11 rushing yards in the first half. I believe the final tally was, Brent, compared to 75 in the second half. And Liam Cohen was very forthright in the postgame presser. He said that the Texans showed a couple looks that forced Trevor Lawrence to check out of the play. Therefore, they had some more running plays called. It just never actually came to fruition because of what the defense was presenting. Because I want to get you out around 9:20 live Eastern, Brent, because you've got a whole heck of a lot coming up on Action Sports Jacks tonight. Do want to hit some of the questions that are being sent in for you. This one is from Robert. Will Liam talk to the wide receiver core during drills this week? Do you think that there will be an additional conversation, especially with regards to at least 5 drops in this win over the Texans?
Yeah, I guess they'd have conversations. I don't know from an athlete standpoint. What do you say? They know they're dropping the ball, right?
Oh, you're going to hear it, folks. Like Parker straight up said, he's like, I need to catch the ball. Like that, that doesn't happen.
And Parker went to the sideline after one of the drops and then started taking passes from Nick Mullins. He worked on it like right away. I didn't see any other guys doing that. I haven't seen Brian Thomas Jr. doing that, but he was like, I'm getting this out. And then I think he actually had another big drop. The thing about it is, how much do you talk about it? We're going to probably talk about it. But internally, it's kind of one of those things that how much do you talk about it? Because then it gets in your head. And we think that it's in Brian Thomas Jr.'s head a little bit. We don't want to get it in Parker Washington's head and everybody else's head. So they got to figure it out. And I think you're right. I mean, there's a fine line between maybe a batting, a hitter going through a slump and the yips from a second baseman or somebody like that. That's a big difference, in my opinion. So a little confidence, get going, easy stuff. I will say this, like I know people are all over Trevor. I wasn't as much because I'm probably a Trevor defender, but I thought they threw so many low percentage plays. Maybe the idea was to attack deep, but when you throw in deep, it's low percentage. And I think they could get everybody going a little bit more with some of the easy stuff, even the receivers who, quite frankly, might need to get going a little bit more than even Trevor get going.
Right. And I wonder, Liam Cohen noted the five-man fronts that Houston was rolling out, perhaps to stop the run above all else, because the Jaguars came into this week as the number one rushing attack in the National Football League. And so maybe the argument was if they're going to crowd the box, we got to take some shots over the top. I don't know if taking shots that far deep is exactly the bread and butter of this team. Another thing I wrote down in my notebook, that deep ball to De'Ami Brown. Brent, how many times did we see that in training camp? And I don't think he caught a single one. And it's nothing against De'Ami Brown. I just think that play, I know they want to hit it, and I'm sure they have in practice before, but we hardly ever saw it. So it definitely was curious. And it kind of ties into last question. We'll leave you here with Brent. This is from Duval T87. Brent, what are your favorite things about Liam? Mia, you can answer this too. Duval T87, I'll call an audible and say, we could say our favorite things about Liam, but also Liam's offense. And so maybe today's a good example, Brent, of things weren't operating at peak efficiency and that offense still found a way.
Yeah, I think, Liam, first of all, he's a really good communicator, and the transparency and the messaging going all the way back to being physical has really paid off. So that part's cool. I love a guy that swears 23 times, by the way, in a post-game locker room celebration in 2 minutes. I don't mind it at all. He's got a lot of energy, a lot of passion, all these things that a lot of folks around here have been asking for from some other coaches at times over the years. I think he brings that to the table. And then what I really did like about the fourth quarter specifically, and even the second half, as you mentioned it, 11 yards running the ball. A lot of people give up on that. He did not give up on it. They ran for 75 tough yards, but important yards in the second half. And some of those on that third quarter drive coming out of the locker room, but also the one right at the end, too. I thought ETN ran harder as the game went along, so they didn't just abandon him. I think he's got a good feel for everything. That's what I like. He's got a feel for everything that's going on. The questions from the media, his own locker room, everything in Jacksonville, the defenses, his own team. He's got a good sense. He's not living in a bubble like guys have in the past and just don't even notice anything else. There's probably something positive about that at times, but I like the fact that this guy's got a lot of feel for the whole situation in Jacksonville right now, and I think it's helping the Jags, at least at this point.
As I have long said, situational awareness is the most underrated quality you can have as a human being in 2025, and I think Liam Cohen has pretty good situational awareness. I reported it back when he was hired in January. I've heard from multiple people who worked in the Rams building when Liam Cohen was there for his first stint. Sean McVay truly felt that the smartest, the wisest offensive mind on that coaching staff was Liam Cohen, and that is who had next, and that is who now has 2 NFL head coaching wins on his resume. Brent, we're going to send you off with this from Dell. I thought Brent's favorite thing about Liam is that he's from Rhode Island.
Yeah, not anymore. My favorite thing about Liam is they're 2-1. So maybe we're going to have some fun in December, right? That's what I told you today. It's hey, they win this game, we're going to have some fun later in the year. That's what I truly believe. We'll find out if I'm right. But I think this game swings a lot. And now you get a good match. If he's that good offensively, you get Kyle Shanahan next week too. And they both have to deal with some problems now. Shanahan with some injuries, obviously, even more than the Jags. And now the Jags, the De'Ami Brown injury, but also some stuff going on with the mental side of that offense because of the drops.
We will dive into some of those injuries, what that Niners matchup could look like, not only tonight, but also on Club 904 on Tuesday, with JP Acosta of CBS Sports, and perhaps an Austin Lane appearance as well. Thursday, we're going to have the boys from the Roast 95.7 out in San Francisco. It's going to get weird, Brent. I hope you're prepared. They don't hold back. What do we have? As Dell notes, thanks, Brent. See you tomorrow. What do we have coming up, not only tonight on Action Sports Jacks on CBS 47 and Fox 30, but also tomorrow on the Brent and Austin Show at 10 a.m.?
Yeah, we're about ready to roll. 10:30, got a bunch of locker room reaction, of course. We'll put it all together for Action Sports Jacks primetime on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47. So flip on over from the Sunday night game and check out all the fun reaction from the Jags. Tomorrow night, Jags Report live at 7 o'clock at Strings Sports Brewery in Jacks Beach. Brenton Strange is our guest tomorrow night. You can watch that right here on the network and on Fox 30. And then 10 a.m. until 1 p.m., Austin Lane, Jason Hamby. And I'll be out at the golf course because we've got our Dream 18 golf tournament tomorrow, but I'll be in there most of the way. So we'll show you some golf, maybe a hole-in-one, but we're going to talk a lot of Jags, 10 a.m. until 1 p.m.
It's a very busy day tomorrow for Brent, so thank you for taking a little bit of time before you got to hop on the television here in about an hour's time. Appreciate it, Brent. There he goes. Again, Brent Martineau, sports director of Action Sports Jacks, joining us on the postgame here on Club 904 each and every Sunday. Don't go anywhere, folks. We have to take a commercial break because in addition to streaming on all of your favorite streaming services, we are also live on Action News Jacks' .2 channel, as well as actionnewsjacks.com. We're not going anywhere. When we come back, you are going to hear an interview with Dewey Wingard that you are not going to want to miss. Stick around. Club 904 continues right after this.
Your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade.
If you look good, you feel good. And the medical professionals here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week, and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance. Can you see my dark circles? Is my makeup highlighting my fine lines instead of covering them up? I question it all. So when I found out about the wide variety of procedures here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics, I knew help was just one appointment away. Medical Director Dr. Megan Deacon-Casey and her board-certified physicians have been using the latest in cutting-edge technology for the last 10 years, giving men and women their personal confidence boost. From Botox, fillers, Morpheus 8, and so much more. The hardest part was figuring out what I needed. Thankfully, the medical team walked me through what would work best for me through a free consultation. Come look and feel your best with the team here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Visit them at one of their 2 locations, either over in Ponte Vedra or on the south side.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University.
Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Tony Mazzio, Sandwood High School, class of 2002.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Colt Tilly, Hilliard High School.
Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jacks PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jackspal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jacks PAL.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute. but it makes a big difference. And 3, don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
There we go. Welcome back into Club 904 after a Jaguars 17-10 victory over those hated Houston Texans. And by the way, and subscribers to the Mo Bryan NFL Notebook already know this from my post-game reports. You can subscribe, by the way, if you check out the link that's going to be scrolling across your timeline here in just a little second on the video front. But ultimately, this is a Jaguars team that, while I know maybe they didn't punish physically the Houston Texans, retaliation that maybe some of you would have liked to have seen, trust me when I say they are taking the high road, but they see you and they hear you. 9 takeaways for your Jacksonville Jaguars, another 3 here today. That defense continues to find success under Anthony Campanile's tutelage. I promised we'd get to it right off the top, so let's hit it. Andrew Dewey Wingard becoming a regular here on Club 904. And one of the longest tenured Jaguars with some pretty interesting comments following the second victory of the season. Here is the one and only Dewey Wingard. Part of some pretty crazy Jags games in your 6-7 years here.
Correct.
What did this one prove today?
Well, we finally just, those are kind of the ones we probably usually come back in here and be like, dang. But we pulled it out, and Coach said it perfectly. We found a way to win, and that's what great teams do. So that was a strange one. It was a nervy one, and super happy, super stoked that we got done.
How do you find a way to win in this one? What's the conversation on the sideline? What's the game changing?
Well, everyone is just locked in. It's not like in years past, everyone just starts going, oh, pointing fingers, here we go again type. No, we were locked in. Offense was dialed. Super proud of them going and getting it done when they had to get it done, and then defense stepping up, and then so proud of my boy Antonio staying 10 toes in the ground, dialed in, never missed a beat, goes out there, gets rewarded, and a hell of a clutch catch by him at the end right there. So just awesome. Great. The mental game of the team, that's all mental, so that was big.
Describe this week for Antonio.
Oh yeah,
I heard you guys he got thrown in the deep end on Wednesday.
Yeah, and all the coaches are up his ass, and it's he's done it before. Give the guy a break. He's gonna be fine. So, but no, we have great coaches, and they're just trying to get him all on the details and stuff like that. But he knows what he's doing, and he's one of those guys that when the game starts, he kind of calms down and gets dialed in. And so he was great. Super proud of him.
In terms of what the Texans did offensively, was there anything in particular that you were really proud of this defense for stepping up to the plate?
Yeah, we just we stopped the run. I think we were, double move on the edge right there. It's tough, tight, it happens. But we were good in the red zone. I think we were held them to. I don't know if they scored a touchdown.
No, it was just the Nico one.
Okay, good. Okay, so the red zone was really good. Just really opportunistic moments. The Jordan pick, the fumble, just super opportune. And like I said, the red zone. I think we held them to a field goal down there early, which was big. So, and then stopping the run. They got a few, but that was big. So, proud of those guys up front.
You said the post-game message from Liam was, it doesn't matter that it was ugly.
Yeah.
What was some of the post-game message from your teammates here afterwards?
Everyone was just stoked. These build momentum is the most powerful thing you can create. And you got to win to do it. So everyone's just pumped up. And when you get wins like this, it makes the process, makes you just want to dive more in. It's I've been around where you start losing and the weeks you're on Wednesday you're oh, but now it's you start winning and guys are it just makes you more locked in. So I'm really happy that we got this dub, and I think guys are just going to buy in more. So
because it was brought up to me in the hallway out there, where does Jordan Lewis rank among free agent acquisitions in your time here?
I've said this a lot. Jordan Lewis is one of the best. He's one of the best football players I've been around, truly. And I would blank check the guy. I don't know what he got paid, but it should have been more. So he's just something about him. Just something about him. It's things you can't really put a finger on. And just a beast, truly. Makes plays every day, grinds his ass off. Just a beast.
Last one for me. How good does it feel to beat the Texans at home for the first time in 8 tries?
So good. Like, well, I hate them. I absolutely hate them. And I don't want to create new storylines for the next time we play, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut now. But that's how I feel. So let's go. Go Jags.
The one and only Andrew Dewey Wingard. There is no one truly like him. In addition to answering all of your questions live, YouTube, X, wherever you're listening to from right now, live on a Sunday post game on Club 904. Also put out the bat signal to answer a couple of questions on Twitter. So let's hit those before we hear from another defensive player in Devin Lloyd following the Jaguars' 17-10 win over those Houston Texans. Let's start with a guy who's becoming I don't want to say a fan favorite, but maybe he is a fan favorite, but a reoccurring character, we'll call it, here on Club 904. That's Ether Dark on X. After 3 games, I can say the O-line has showed me what I've been begging for going on half a decade. They held up really well against one of the more oppressive defenses in the league. Ground game near non-existent is a problem, but I'll take the win. And again, Ether Dark, for those who are just joining us live here on Sunday, ultimately, Liam Cohen said that there were some 5-man fronts that D'Amico Ryans and the Texans trotted out that they were not prepared for. And that's just a credit, a tip of the cap to D'Amico and one of the better defenses in the league. I know they're 0-3, but I think we can all agree they've got some dudes over there. And D'Amico Ryans has proven in 2 seasons as the head coach that he could scheme them up pretty well. So I think you chalk it up to that in terms of the run game. But as far as the pass protection goes for Trevor Lawrence, not only, yes, he gave up a sack or 2, which is a stark comparison to what we saw the last 2 weeks where he was largely kept upright outside of Trey Hendrickson twice against the Cincinnati Bengals. I do think you also saw Trevor climbing the pocket. We'll hit that a little bit when we empty the notebook coming up in just a little bit. I was happy to see how he was navigating through the pocket. Didn't think he was really drifting. Maybe on second watch, I'll feel differently. But no, to your point, I do think this offensive line, even if they couldn't run the ball effectively in the first half, and maybe part of that, again, was situational and Trevor Lawrence choosing to check out of those run plays, it's been promising returns for Sean Serrett's squad so far through 3 games of the season. This one is from Stop H. Who is at fault for the receiver drops? Trevor, as he's led the league in drops for a long time, or the individual player? As you'll hear from Parker Washington here in just a little bit, they say it's on them. And so I'll believe it's on them. Certainly the one Parker Washington drop I felt was thrown behind him. But ultimately, was it a play that he could have caught? And maybe even he has caught more difficult passes in these first 3 weeks of the season alone? The answer is yes. And there will be those of you who will listen back to this and say she's defending Trevor. No, I'm not. He threw a couple in the dirt that also probably, just a little bit short of Parker Washington on that one out route, the outbreaking route. And they were going towards the south end, or what, east, south, west, south side's that way, south end zone, headed towards the river. So yeah, no, I think Trevor was at fault too, but the receivers are taking the blame at this juncture. Let's hit a couple more off of Twitter from Rob. How concerned should we be about the offense, the Brown injury, and with what seems to be a lack of play knowledge by Hunter in some situations? Seen him have good plays too. Rob, you're not alone in that assessment. I had a couple Jags fans reach out to me, and quite frankly, there have been conversations in the media contingent with folks in the building about this idea of how much has Travis Hunter been able to take from the playbook, from study. We've heard he's so great in the classroom, and apply that to the actual field and the play itself. I mean, he hasn't been a liability. Maybe that's a low bar to clear. I know, again, there's national media out there that need to see the splash play. I did have at least one person reach out to me and say that you could see on at least one play Trevor Lawrence pointing to Parker Washington that he was in the wrong spot, and that's why they had to burn a timeout and may or may not have chewed him out afterwards. Poor Parker Washington. If Trevor Lawrence is going to lash out at anyone, I feel like it just always ends up being poor Parker. It's because he knows he can take it. Parker Washington, you'll hear from here in just a second. But ultimately, there were a couple times, too, where Travis Hunter, and this popped up in the Cincinnati Bengals game tape as well, where Brian Thomas Jr. was having to tell Travis Hunter where to go. He's a rookie in his 3rd year of playing. I know he's the unicorn. It's his 3rd ever NFL game. I'm going to give him a little bit of grace, but it is something that absolutely has to be cleaned up. Along with, we didn't even hit this one with Brent Martineau, 9 penalties for the Jaguars, 70 yards. Fine, I'll cut you some slack. I'll say 8 penalties for 55 yards because the Dennis Gardick unsportsmanlike conduct, I mean, I don't know. This is a chippy rivalry. I would not have thrown the flag at him when Christian Harris was actually the one who probably instigated the entire situation. One more off of Twitter. Meta World Crazy. Do you think Gladstone is regretting not picking up Devin Lloyd's 5th-year option? Great question, because you're going to hear from Devin Lloyd here momentarily. I don't think he regrets it because the number for the fifth-year option for a inside linebacker is not exactly what the market would tell you it is. And I also think that if all goes well, Devin likes playing here. And while I think Devin wants to earn what he believes he is worth, I also think that Devin, would enjoy sticking around if the Jaguars continue to have success. And so that's not to say that James Gladstone can't go to Devin Lloyd and then offer an extension. And maybe it's not at that same price as the fifth-year option, but ultimately it is a way to keep him in Jacksonville if he continues to operate at the level at which he is. Speaking of, let's hear from the Jaguars' fourth-year linebacker, Devin Lloyd.
Dewey, too. You've been here a couple of years now. Where does this one rank for wins that maybe aren't as flashy, but say a lot about this team?
Man, this is a great win. It's definitely up there. I'm just really proud of how everybody was just resilient throughout this whole game. We had things that obviously didn't go our way, and we just continue to fight, continue to believe in one another, and ultimately found a way to win. I'm just proud of everybody.
Why is this defense the one that, for you, it just seems to perfectly exhibit or exploit, showcase your skill set?
Yeah, it's just aggressive. I think Camp does a really good job of understanding how not just linebackers, but in everybody, want to put them in a situation that's advantageous. Offense tries to put us in conflict, and Camp always tries to make sure that we're not in conflict. And that, in addition to his aggressive mindset, obviously I'm an aggressive guy. We got aggressive guys on this team, just as far as our play style, mindset, and it ultimately just all works together.
Did you see the fumble recovery? Did you see it coming in real time, or was it just kind of in your breadbasket when you looked down?
Yeah, so I had a responsibility to my left, and as soon as I realized the ball was out, or the quarterback threw the ball, I flipped, turned, and ran, and the ball was right there. Honestly, I didn't even see it punch out. I just see the ball and went and grabbed it. Man, Tyson just made a hell of a play. Honestly, that was. I'm just really proud of him for what he did, and that was a big play for the team.
First victory over the Texans at home in 8 tries. What does that mean to you?
That's good. It's good to be 2-1. Obviously, it's good to beat them at home. We want to win every game at home for our fans, and so that was a big one. And I'm really proud. But at the end of the day, that was game 3. We got a long season, and we got to just continue to keep finding ways to improve and just keep finding ways to get better. But I'm definitely proud of everybody for this one. This one was big.
Yeah. Why did you think you won this game? Because fourth quarter, 9 minutes to go, we've seen that little change of momentum result in a lot of L's. How do you think you guys managed to pull this one out in the final 8 minutes?
It was just a collective belief. Everybody continued to fight. There's a lot of times when it can go one or two ways after, that 2-play swing. And guys just continued to believe. We understood the task at hand, and it was going to take everybody, all phases, all throughout the team, to believe and to execute, and that's what we did.
Do you allow yourself to say, hey, this feels good, the way you're playing, the impact that you're making? Can you allow yourself through the first few weeks to do that?
I obviously want to make more of an impact. Obviously, it's good to help this team in any way I can, and I'm definitely grateful for the opportunity to just go out and do what I love with all these guys, man. All these guys are my brothers, and grateful. And I'm definitely not satisfied. I want to be doing a lot more as far as making an impact, and making big plays to help the team win. But it's a good start to the year.
Is this the best you've played in the Jags uniform?
I don't know. I'm not even thinking about that, honestly. I'm just thinking about taking everything a day at a time and finding ways to improve my game to help this team win.
Again, Devin Lloyd, Jaguars' fourth-year linebacker, officially in a contract year after the team declined the fifth-year option, which would have been a $14.75 million fully guaranteed one-year deal. As our friend Dell pointed out, the off-ball linebacker money is too much. Not a fan of the league grouping them together. I'd like them to extend Trayvon during the season if we're going to extend someone. He added his second sack of the season, now 17 and a half sacks in his last 24 games. That sounds like a number 1 overall pick to me. Let's hit one more break, but when we come back, you will hear from Parker Washington. We'll empty the notebook, and we'll hit any remaining questions that we have on YouTube, Twitter. Leave it for us. We're going to hit it coming up here in just a second. This Club 904 rolls on right after this.
To get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade.
If you look good, you feel good. And the medical professionals here at Ponte Vein and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week, and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance. Can you see my dark circles? Is my makeup highlighting my fine lines instead of covering them up? I question it all. So when I found out about the wide variety of procedures here at Ponte Vein and Aesthetics, I knew help was just one appointment away. Medical Director Dr. Megan Deacon Casey and her board-certified physicians have been using the latest in cutting-edge technology for the last 10 years, giving men and women their personal confidence boost. From Botox, fillers, Morpheus 8, and so much more. The hardest part was figuring out what I needed. Thankfully, the medical team walked me through what would work best for me through a free consultation. Come look and feel your best with the team here at Ponte Vein and Aesthetics. Visit them at one of their 2 locations, either over in Ponte Vedra or on the south side.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University.
Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Tony Mazzio, Stanwood High School, class of 2002.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oakleaf High School.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School.
Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jack's Pal. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jackspal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jack's Pal.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Welcome back into Club 904, a post-game edition after the Jaguars defeat the Houston Texans 17-10. Mia O'Brien. Many are saying that the Jaguars are just a Travis Hunter questionable DPI or a De'Ami Brown drop away from being 3-0. What we do know to be a fact, they have trailed just 18 seconds in the 2025 season through 3 weeks of the NFL season. We're going to empty the notebook. We're going to get to your final questions. We're going to hear from Parker Washington. But first, I want to hit some other news and notes from around the league as it pertains to your Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's begin with the San Francisco 49ers with an impressive come-from-behind victory with none other than the Mac Jones under center stepping in for Brock Purdy. Nick Bosa suffered a knee injury, was ultimately ruled out of this game. The star edge rusher getting tests on his knee injury as we speak. Head coach Kyle Shanahan saying that the team does not believe it's an ACL injury, but they are checking everything. Obviously, that is a team that is already without its starting quarterback. Curious to see if he returns next week, or now with Mac Jones 2-0 as their starting QB, do they ride with the Jacksonville product for one more week? One other note from San Francisco, for those of you keeping score. Bryce Huff, second sack. We're 6 away, folks. In case you missed it, the pick that the Jaguars acquired in the trade with the Philadelphia Eagles for Tank Bigsby, that is a 5th-round pick. It would become a 4th-round pick if Bryce Huff, who the Eagles dealt to San Francisco this offseason, if he gets 8 or more sacks this year. And so we will be monitoring Bryce Huff. Well, I think everybody in the club tonight would like to see the Jaguars defeat San Francisco out on the left coast next week. We want Trevor to be healthy, but we also want Bryce Huff to, get some sacks. I'm sorry, I didn't want to speak that into existence. Just had to throw that out there because we are keeping tabs. One other note from around the AFC South. I'm just going to read this quote to you guys. I'm curious to see if the comments light up on YouTube, X, wherever you're listening from. Michael Pittman Jr. was asked about the 41-20 victory that the Indianapolis Colts just wrapped up over the Tennessee Titans at Nissan Stadium. Quote, saw it on the pregame intros. They kinda, as in the Titans, looked a little sluggish. They were kind of walking around. Nobody was really bouncing. Right then and there, we all sat there and we were like, they don't want to play today. Before I hopped on the air here, I listened to my friend Buck Rising of 104.5, the Zone, or we're going to get the call numbers right. The Zone up in Nashville. His report brought to you by Two Rivers Ford. And he said, he's like, I feel like a broken record because there are massive questions in Tennessee. The fact that you have Michael Pittman Jr. calling you out, not exactly the best look there, Titans fans. Let's get to Parker Washington before we empty the notebook, before we get to last call. Leave those questions in the chat. We'll get to you guys here in a second. But first, let's hear from the Jaguars' 3rd-year wide receiver out of Penn State, Parker Washington.
It's big time. We talk about we need to step up and do that. And seeing BT do that at the end, seeing ETN continuing to finish the game and play strong, it's been so cool to see. And we're going to keep building on that. There you go.
Well played. Do you expect gritty games like this against divisional rivals? Is that how it is when you play Houston twice a year like that every year?
You got to expect it. I want to say the division games, it's different. It's a different feeling, I feel like. Both teams come to play. I don't know, it's just a different feeling. It's cool to be a part of. I love those atmospheres, and I can't wait to see them again.
Go ahead. I'll go ahead. Tough sling to for Brian Trueck, but then makes that big play. How much should he need that so we can sort of move on and get this season going?
It was real cool to see. I feel like what's cool about our offense is, even for me, I had 2 drops today as well. It's tough, but we got to be able to have that mentality where we come back for the next play. What's the next play? Step up, keep doing your thing, keep having fun, and it paid off for him. He didn't get down on himself, and he came, he executed in the biggest moment of the game.
For Dewey, I know Liam told you guys post-game, win's a win, but what was the message when you guys walked off the field to each other?
As a receiver, we got to play better. Yes, we celebrate this win, but we got to play better. And that was a cool message to hear because I feel like that's the culture of this team. We always want to continue to grow, continue to build, and it's going to be exciting. I feel like we continue to push ourselves, even on my drops. Travis, BT say, you're good. And they say, that's not you got this. Same thing for when BT have a tough play. We got his back every time. So it's been really cool to see the receiver room come together, and we just got to keep building, and I feel like we'll do that.
Do the 2 previous Jaguars teams you've been a part of win this game?
I'm still betting on the Jags.
Not betting that way, but yeah, exactly.
But I feel like this room for us as a receiver, I'm just going to talk receiver room. I mean, it's a much younger room this time around, but I feel like we're coming back, you know, we're coming to be more mature and we're coming together. I feel like that's been really cool to see. I feel like since I've been here, our receiver room's always been tight, and I feel like we're starting to really build that, starting to really have each other's backs, and it's real cool to be a part of.
What has this week been like for that room? Because I'm sure as much as you block out the outside noise, BT's having conversations with people. People are saying things on the national media. What's the room been like this week in particular?
Just doing what we do, you know, coming out here ready to compete, attacking each day, and just being us. I feel like that's what it comes down to. You got to be you, be your best self, continue to show up each day, no matter what happens. No matter what happens, you have a drop, let's go to the next play, let's get it back. And we got it back today. BT made a big play, and that's what it's all about. That's football.
And for you as a returner, did you feel like that last punt return, maybe was that like literally and figuratively turning a corner? I know you hit the edge on that one, but for you is really starting to find some consistency?
We're trying, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to continue to be more attentive about hitting it downhill and being there and showing up for my teammates. They work super hard to give me the opportunity to make a return, so I just got to continue to grow, continue to build on that. I feel like we're taking strides, and I'll be ready to do better.
Parker Washington, Jaguars third-year receiver. That's a great segue to emptying the notebook. I don't want to start with a negative, but since Parker brought it up there, the special teams woes, I still have questions about, you know, Parker Washington getting uphill, hitting the hole. Certainly Logan Cook finished with a net of 48.8 yards per punt. Pretty good number, but just didn't feel like he actually had one of his better days at the office just because several punts went out of bounds. Cam Little, of course, 1 of 2 on field goal duty. So maybe it's just an off day for that special teams unit. I thought the coverage looked better than the last 2 weeks. Also going to file away LaQuint Allen and Bashal Tutin were the 2 returners for the Jaguars in kickoff. Some other notes from me. The defensive personnel groupings, as you know by now, Antonio Johnson sliding in for Darnell Savage after he was released last week as that third safety. Interesting, of course, to see Travis Hunter seeing the bulk of the snaps opposite Tyson Campbell, and then Jordan Lewis playing on the inside in favor of Jarian Jones, who was banged up against the Bengals, limited in practice throughout the week. A lot of Dennis Gardick. Shout out Gardick. Justice for Gardick. Christian Harris started the fight, not Dennis Gardick. But it was interesting. We didn't see as much Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen on the second drive of the game. I actually made a note for that. And once again, speaks to the depth in that edge room and the idea of, hey, let's keep those 2 fresh. Maybe that's a reason that Josh Hines-Allen had the tip on Antonio Johnson's pick that sealed the victory for your Jacksonville Jaguars. On the offensive side of the ball, Liam Cohen mentioned it, and I wrote it down in my notes. A lot of 11 personnel right out of the gate with Travis Etienne. I know I was clamoring for Bashal Tutin to be inserted into the game. Many of you were as well. And then, of course, he had a nice theft, or what do you guys call it in the fantasy streets? Highway robbery of a would-be Travis Etienne touchdown, but he got his back. Interesting to see a lot of Tim Patrick. Interesting because I thought the crossing route, the big 17-yard pickup that number 17 had, was something that I didn't expect Tim Patrick to be. Thought he was much more of an XY receiver, but the fact that he can play multiple positions, I think, is huge, especially if the Jaguars are to be without De'Ami Brown for any extended period of time. There was one play, it was a third down play that ultimately the Jaguars called timeout, so the play didn't actually play out. But LaQuint Allen was split out wide. Really curious to see what comes of that. And that's one more final note for me before we get to last call. Trevor Lawrence killed a lot of plays at the line, and I've been critical of the constant killing of plays, changing the play at the 11th hour, especially when he had another offense coordinator compared to this current regime. But as Liam Cohen noted on more than one occasion, Trevor Lawrence changing the play at the line kept the drive alive for this Jaguars team. Certainly there were a couple situations where it did not. One that I wrote down that didn't get a lot of play, the Hunter Long third down catch on the Tutin touchdown drive. That was one that they changed the play with 5 seconds left on the play clock. Not only did they execute it, they obviously moved the chains, and then that set up 7 for number 33. Let's hit a couple of questions before we get on out of here. Yes, I know there's a lot of you debating in the chat right now. Mac Jones versus Trevor Lawrence next week. Certainly something that we could see. Golf Franchise says, I think Billy Napier was calling plays today. I just think they went against a really good defense. And quite frankly, this was a Jaguars team that has to learn how to go up against the elite defenses if they are to be in the postseason, like Brent Martineau was alluding to. Some other questions from you guys live on YouTube right now from Devin. They prove that they're men and not mice today. Okay, of mice and men. I like that. Robert adds, today the Jags learned how to finish the game. Mario says Liam is a great head coach. Matt Jones, not that Matt Jones, the other Matt Jones, just keeps going on and on how the Jaguars got lucky. Whether they got lucky, whether it was execution, it's a final score. Jaguars 17, Texans 10. And Dell agrees the kick coverage much better. More Tootin next week when the Jaguars head out to San Francisco to face the 3-0 San Francisco 49ers. We will be back on Tuesday, 1 p.m. Set your calendars, set your clocks accordingly. JP Acosta, now of CBS Sports, is going to join us. So proud of JP of Jaguars acclaim. Of course, a big Jags fan down in South FLA. He's going to join us at 1:20, hoping to have Austin Lane right off the top of the show with a 1-2-step film breakdown. And then on Thursday, we're going to get the morning roast crew, and it's going to get weird, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Jags win, a fun post-game show had by all. Be sure to like, subscribe, Action Sports Jax, as well as check out the O'Brien NFL Notebook on Patreon. Until Tuesday, we will catch you later.
For anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway, or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. And most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick.